Alright, what's going on, everybody? So, I just got finished watching the first episode of Higurashi When They Cry, and today I'll be sharing with you guys my thoughts on the first episode. Now, before I get into this review, I think it's worth mentioning that this show is a remake of the 2006 anime series, which is based off of a visual novel video game. I never played the original, I never seen the original anime, or played the games, or read the light novel, so I'm essentially going into this thing blind. The only things I know about this show is from Wikipedia, just doing a quick Wikipedia search, and some comments made by fans on the latest trailer for the show. This is one of the shows of this season that many people are excited for because, from what I understand, the original anime wasn't as good as the game. One of the complaints I read is that it didn't have much gore in it, and well, something tells me that judging by how this first episode opens, that might not be the case this time around. It was definitely bloody, to say the least. Before I share with you my thoughts on episode 1, let me explain for those unfamiliar with Higurashi what the show is about. So Higurashi is a murder mystery, supernatural, psychological horror story set in the fictional village Hinamizawa. And please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing any of these names. I know I'm gonna mispronounce a lot of these names, so like bear with me and forgive me for that. But Hinamizawa, and every year the people living there, they take part in this festival called the Watanagashi Festival to give thanks to their god, to their deity. And the main character, Kiichi Maebara, he just moved to the village. So he just moved to the village and he's already made plenty of friends. The village seems peaceful, but for the last 4 years, people have been killed and have gone missing during this festival. This is a fact that Kiichi is unaware of at the start of the show. And don't worry, it's not a spoiler because that was in the trailer. So this episode takes place before the festival. It takes place before the festival during the time that Kiichi has just returned from a funeral. The first thing that stuck out to me immediately after watching the trailer for this remake and this first episode is the art style and the character designs. The characters are designed to look very cute and very expressive. At first glance, the chosen art style and designs might seem like an odd choice, but I think that this is done on purpose for two reasons. The first is to lure people in that know nothing about this franchise with the cute characters. The second reason is to surprise people once things start going down. It's a deceptive trick on the audience, and I think it will be effective on those unsuspecting viewers that come into the show knowing next to nothing about it. Ideally, I think that it would be the best way to experience this show would be to just like go in blind knowing nothing, absolutely nothing about this. For returning fans, I think the characters themselves, just based off of what I saw, I think the characters themselves will be enough to keep them coming back every week. In the first episode, so in this first episode, we're introduced to several of Kiichi's friends as he hangs out with them upon his return to the village. And like I said, forgive me if I'm gonna probably be butchering these names, but Mion, I guess is how you pronounce it. Mion takes him and Rena on a tour of the town, and then they sit down, they eat, and they basically eat with their other friends. I know I'm gonna screw this name up. Satoko and Rika. So they sit down, they eat with their friends, and then later in the episode, they all participate in a scavenger hunt after school. And while none of these characters really stood out to me, at least they have, distinctive personalities. And they did have this moment where, like, Satoko and the main character, they're trying to outdo each other, trying to see who can eat the most food. And, they had these moments where they're trying to, show off the characters' personalities and kind of get you familiar with the common dynamic between these characters. So I thought it did that pretty well for the most part. Given the type of show that this is, though, I expected a slow build up in which things will slowly come into place. Kiichi begins to suspect that something might be going on after a brief conversation with a photographer he meets while at the junkyard with Rena. Kiichi makes this really weird joke about her checking on a corpse, and like I said, forgive me, I know I'm gonna butcher this name. Tamatake, the photographer, mentions something about a man with a missing arm, and I'm guessing that this joke, this seemingly throwaway joke or whatever. I am guessing that this was supposed to be a sort of, foreshadowing, considering what Rena is getting ready to do during the final scene of the episode. After his encounter with Tomatake, Kiichi questions Rena and Mion about any incidents that might have occurred, and then Kiichi learns that there was once supposed to be a dam built in the village, but they were able to prevent that from happening. Forgive me if you hear the phone in the background. When he asked Rena and Mion whether these violent incidents happened, they gave this quick, cold response. Their personality changes briefly, sorta, and we get a close up on their faces where, like, we can't see their eyes. Their eyes aren't shown. It's kind of like kind of blocked by the light, kind of, and like you really can only see from the nose down, right? I think that these moments are why the art style, the character designs, and the mostly light tone of the show, or at least this episode, are a good fit for the show, as these sudden tonal and character shifts are sure to catch people off guard. By the end of the episode, Rena and Kiichi, I know I'm gonna end up screwing up these names doing these reviews, so forgive me, man. But they return to the junkyard to get the statue that Rena wanted, and then I won't spoil the ending and what got revealed to Kiichi upon conveniently discovering a stack of newspapers, but the episode ends at a rather good spot. So overall, I thought the first episode was interesting, to say the least. While I'm not sold on it as everyone else, I at least noticed some elements that might have made people love the games and the novels. And it looks like it could be a very interesting murder mystery type show. So I might continue watching it from week to week, but just expect me to, like, screw up these names, so bear with me on that. But let me know what you guys think about this first episode in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.